Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Print Storage here. This is our 2022 Subaru WRX Sport. So this is actually the first sport model that we've had in. That new body style, that new front end. I like the look, the little splitters in the hood scoop. I actually think it's a small detail, and I actually really like the profile of the hood. LED headlights, they're not the steering responsive ones like you find in the Sport Tech. Still LEDs. I really like the side profile on this new WRX. And I was looking at it from a distance, and when all that black cladding is clean at the bottom, it makes it look like it's got a higher stance, which I know some people might not like, but it does make it look taller, more rally-esque in my opinion. We have our 18-inch Subaru wheels with the Dunlops. These vents are functional, better airflow, brake cooling is the idea behind that. And this is the first World Rally Blue one that we've received. I actually quite like it. At the back here, keyless access to the trunk. You can do it from the key fob, the hatch itself, or from inside. Tons of room in the back here. All of our spare tire stuff in the back underneath. Easy to access. Hopefully you never need to use it, but it is there. We do have the glow-in-the-dark trunk release if someone ever gets kidnapped and put in the back. The Sport is the first trim level you get with the trunk lip spoiler. You do get that on the Sport Tech as well, but Sport is the first. And I showed you the functional vents at the front. This is actually a functional vent. Don't know if the camera's gonna capture it, but you can actually see a little bit of the World Rally Blue through there. So it is a functional vent. Again, you're passing air through the rear wheel well, cooling. In the second row, good amount of room. You get the black cloth. They call it premium cloth, so it's not the ultra suede leather combo that you find in the Sport Tech, but it's different than the base model cloth, which we haven't had a base model, so I can't tell you exactly what the differences are, like touch texture-wise, but it looks good. 2 USB ports for all your charging needs, and still decent amount of room. Being a sports sedan, you end up with a decent amount of room. Up front, proximity key, you can lock everything just with the key being on your person. Put your hand in and it unlocks. Power windows, locks, mirrors, as you'd expect. We got the carbon fiber-esque trim on the door. Power driver seat, including lumbar support, and it is that black Sport cloth with the red contrast stitching. A little bit of red in the Sport cloth. I imagine you're probably not going to see that in the entry-level cloth, just the premium cloth here. As we get in, down here, we've got our trunk release, our brightness for our gauges, and our traction control. Now, I was asked about traction control. How sideways can I get if you turn off traction control? I can't answer that. I haven't even really had a chance to drive one of these yet. I just moved it around the lot to do a video the other day. Other than that, I have no firsthand experience driving these yet. Push button start. Clutch has to be in. You don't have to have your foot on the brake, but the clutch has to be depressed. Nice gauges. It's nice, easy to read gauge layout. And now that little center display you can change, and that's from these two arrows here. Gives you a bunch of different information depending what you want to look at. I always like the boost gauge. So something that I was doing some reading on these, they've lowered the max boost pressure on this new engine. So it's 12 PSI instead of 18 PSI. I think it was 18 in the previous gen. So 6 less pounds of boost, but 3 more horsepower. I've spoken with a couple people who have driven the new WRX. They said it feels like a properly tuned previous generation WRX. So I'm excited to eventually get to drive one of these, but right now I just get to kind of fantasize about it. We've got our Bluetooth and our audio controls on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. We have our cruise on the right. Now it is a D-shaped steering wheel, so a little bit of flatter bottom here, more carbon fiber trim. It's a nice feeling steering wheel. Again, red contrast stitching on the steering wheel. Thematically, it ties it all together. Headlights, LEDs, fog lights, LEDs. 11.6 inches of touchscreen. So same screen, borrowed from the Outback Legacy, and we'll try to get rid of that glare. So actually, Sport is actually the first trim level where you get the tilt and slide sunroof. Manual shade, of course, but this is very easy to use, intuitive, as long as you actually like touch screens. I guess it would help if I actually turned on climate controls. But yeah, 3 stages of heated seats. Easy to play with the climate. And being cloth seats, these will heat up and really, really quickly. So you can change the temperature from the screen, or we have our physical buttons. And each time you press it, it'll go up half a degree or down half a degree. Easy to use. You want to change where the airflow is, press that, press where you want it. I like it. It's really easy to use. And if you wanted to sync the 2 temperatures, because it is dual zone, you just press sync and now they're both the same. Then this will actually disappear on its own. So if you're driving, you don't have to worry about pressing the X. It just disappears. So you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So you just plug your USB for your phone. No wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but a decent cord with data transfer, and you can use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto for music, for nav, everything that you need. You do get a trial to the Subaru connected services, so you won't be able to do the remote start that you'd find in the automatics, but you'll still be able to lock, unlock your door, set off your horn and lights, locate it on a map. You can set boundary and speed alerts. Really, really easy to do. And when you put it in reverse, backup camera automatically comes up. It does show you the top of the bumper there. You do have something to relate to. And as you turn the wheel, those orange lines move, show you where you're going to end up if you keep the wheel turned that way. So handy for parking lots. As I was saying, down below, 2 USBs for charging, data transfer, listening to music, an aux cord input for listening to music, 12-volt outlet, any charging needs. And then this is rubberized, so I guess the idea is phone storage. Put it there, it's not gonna slide around as much, easy to use. Of course, this is the 6-speed manual transmission, so it is really short so far. Like, I mean, it doesn't really look particularly short, but it feels shorter. And then for reverse, just like always with the Subarus, collar up, over, and back. But yeah, it's really nice. I'm excited to try driving one. Change tray, cup holders with the little flexi things, center console with another 12-volt outlet for any charging needs. My favorite feature in any vehicle ever, the auto dimming mirror. There's no switch to flick. It just dims if someone's got their high beams on behind you. I love it. We have our SOS and our concierge / roadside assistance, and that's part of that 3-year trial to the connected services. We have our sunroof controls, map lights, and then something that I didn't really show when the vehicle turns on. We have this little black screen here. We have one on the passenger side as well. That is your blind spot detection. And so it'll illuminate like that on either side whenever someone's in your blind spot on that corresponding side. So easy to use. Now, you can turn that off if you don't like it, and you just do that. And that is found through this little vehicle tab here, driving assistance. Under others, you'll have warning volumes. You can actually change it from kilometers to miles per hour. So if you do a trip to the States, you can actually switch it so your digital speedometer's in miles. Very handy. You don't get caught speeding down there. And up top here, we have this other portion. You can change these widgets around, but I personally like water temp, oil temp. I think most people will see the benefit to that. And then with your satellite radio trial, you do get a 3-month trial to the, I guess, the weather portion of Sirius Satellite. So that's a brief overview of the new 2022 Subaru WRX Sport. I'm Tyson, the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George. Talk to you guys soon.